Thanks for listening. This podcast is proudly brought to you by OG Haulage. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with a mate.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Get Outdoors with Drew and Cam. Another week, another podcast.
That's it.
And we do have a special guest,
We do have a special guest.
as we teased last week.
Yes, we do.
Can you pronounce her name now, Cam, or not?
Nadine.
Nadine. Well
I've
done,
been
mate.
struggling with names for ages.
Welcome to our show, Nadine.
Thanks.
You are our special guest because you do a lot of special things.
I try to.
You try to?
Yep. Try and get outdoors here and there.
Nice.
Does that sort of mix in with the theme of this podcast by
Nah,
any chance?
that'll do.
we
Time
don't
to
do
go.
outdoor
Oh,
stuff.
okay then.
No.
See ya.
We're a gamer-based thing.
You've got the wrong gal.
Nadine, tell us a little bit about you. What's your background? Where have you begun? How have you ended up where you are?
I actually grew up very inactive. I grew up in a family with my mum, my sister. We were not active.
Yep.
That was not what we did. I did not get outdoors. I got active a bit later in life, probably in my 30s, and I started to get fit, wanted to lose a bit of weight after having children, and I used to walk a lot.
Yep.
And then one day I just got bored and started running. So I used to run a lot. I ended up getting pretty active and I still am active in the parkrun community, which is a 5K community event every Saturday morning. So I attend whenever I can and I love it.
Yep.
I did a lot of half marathons, 10-kilometre runs. I did some trail running. I even did one marathon, and that's a one and done. I'm never doing that again.
How many Ks?
42 kilometres,
Oh,
42.2 kilometres. So it was fantastic. And some people love it and they do it over and over again. And for me, I just found that was really tough on my body.
Yep.
I'm early 50s now, and I'm at the point where I've got time to explore some different things and have just found this great love for the outdoors. I don't run as far anymore. I still go to parkrun. I still love my 5Ks a few times a week.
Yep.
But I love to get out in the bush and just hike and just walk and just be out there.
Take it all in sort of thing.
Take it all in. And I'm a big one for variety, so I'll hike. I do all sorts of different activities. I'll get on my bike and go on a rail trail adventure. I'll still run. I'll just do a bit of everything. But hiking is definitely something that I'm really loving.
Yep.
And going to destinations. So I've got All Trails. It's my favourite subscription. Why are you shaking your head, Drew?
it's not a
All I
cheap
can
one.
picture is you not sitting still.
That I don't sit still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't sit still very often.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, yeah. But if you knew me years ago,
Yeah.
that would not be the picture you have of me. So, you know, in my childhood, I may have not sat still, but it wasn't outside. It was probably bouncing off the walls. And then when I had my children, I definitely wasn't. I was never a camper. I was not that person. I was like 5-star hotel all the way, thanks.
Yeah.
So we can change and evolve.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And we can
Absolutely.
take on new hobbies and new interests. And the key is just to start small. And I think that's what I've done, is just started small and then seen that there's more out there. The more you get out there, the more people you meet.
Yep.
And the more you see is out there. There's just no end to it.
So now you've started off running to get to the destination. Now you're like, I'll slow down and just take in the trip.
Enjoy
slow
the
down.
enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the whole thing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I still sometimes I'll still do a trail run and okay, that was great. That's what I need on that day. But I
still think you guys are weird.
I've never seen a runner smile. This is the thing. So how do you know they're enjoying it?
because they're talking nonstop to each other.
I'd be, how you doing? That's good.
They're the runners trying to run fast. The runners running fun are just talking the whole
If you
way.
see me running, follow, because you know something's about to explode.
Or something's chasing you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's about it. You used to be a nurse, didn't you?
I'm still a nurse.
You're still a nurse?
I had a break from
Okay.
nursing and
Yep.
I've been back nursing for about a year.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you feel any of your background with work has contributed to you wanting to learn more about the outdoors or not?
Let me ponder that question.
We've talked a lot about first aid kits.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I was just about to touch on the first aid kit. With the training, have you got a paramedic spec first aid kit, or have you managed to whittle it down to a small, compact?
I've got a fairly compact one.
Yep.
But it's definitely something I don't leave home without.
Yep.
Yep.
And I had a moment of that this last weekend, I was hiking up on the Two Bays Trail and I did a 15K walk through Greensbush to Cape Shank.
Yep.
And I had a very close encounter with a very snarky tiger snake.
Yes.
Nice.
And it's been my closest call.
Yep.
Okay.
So I didn't realise it was there until it was under me.
Ooh.
And then it went out behind me and I ran forward in absolute panic.
Yep.
I've had lots of encounters with snakes.
So,
but this one
the
was-
one thing you're not supposed to do, you did?
I didn't run. I just kept moving.
Yep.
And then looked back, and we both looked back at each other, and it was slightly raised, ready to go me.
Like where the hell did you come from look?
Yeah, pretty much. But we both kind of went, where the heck did you come from?
Yep.
And I thought that was a close call.
Wow.
So I never leave home without my first aid kit.
Yep.
If it, like the chances of actually being bitten by a snake are fairly low if you're sensible.
Yep.
But it can happen, so
Yes,
you have
it
to be
can.
prepared.
You have a
and-
snake bite kit
Yep.
within your first aid kit?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And I also, like the other, it's more likely that I'm going to roll my ankle and I'm going to need a compression bandage.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's that.
This is like what we discussed on one of our
100%.
previous episodes where it's got that multi-purpose.
I've
So-
absolutely used the compression bandage for a rolled ankle. Yeah.
Yep.
More when I was running than hiking, but, enough said about that.
You did a really cool hike recently. Where
Yeah.
did you begin and end up with your destination of choice? How did that come about?
Yeah, so that was my overnight solo hike on French Island, which is a little island in Western Port Bay.
Yep.
I have been doing some destination hikes. I look on all trails and I'll find something that I feel comfy with. I'm very conscious about not pushing outside my comfort zone when I'm on my own, or not too far outside it, because when you're out in the bush and you're on your own, you've got to know how you're going to get out of there if something goes wrong.
Yep.
So it's all about preparation and
100%.
safety. Yep. So I'll pick something that feels comfortable to me and then I'll go and do it. And I love a loop because I know that I'm going
You're
to
gonna
start
end
and
up
finish
at
in
the-
the same
yep.
location. I don't have to turn around. So they're the ones that I love. But this one, I really wanted to try an overnight.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I wanted to do it on my own. And it felt like out of my comfort zone.
Was that for you to push you into something you hadn't done?
Yeah, and
It was?
also because there's some really cool trails out there that you can only do as overnighters.
Okay.
Yep.
There's one on the south coast of New South Wales that looks really great, that I'm really keen to do. And you can only hike in. You can't drive in.
Yep.
So for me, that's like if I want to access those places, I need to get my confidence up. So I'd done a couple of them before. I've done 3 days, 2 nights on the Grampians Trail with a friend. But I had a friend with me.
Yep.
She knew the way and I kind of just followed along. So I've done a couple of things like that. But this was really, I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to start to finish and just do the whole thing. So I had some gear. I needed to collect a little bit more. So I started doing that. And I know gear's a thing for you.
Yep,
so
yep.
If maybe we'll come back to
We'll
that.
come back to gear because I'll talk about gear for an hour.
We'll go off on a tangent.
Yep.
Marketplace is Cam's best friend.
I know, but you're starting the tangent.
I'll wheel it in.
Anyway,
So
keep talking.
I
Yep.
collected some gear and then
Yep.
I thought carefully about the hike that I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. And I thought about maybe Wilson's Prom and I thought, oh, it's a long way to drive. And I ended up deciding on French Island for a number of reasons. One is that it's pretty close to home.
Yep.
For me, it's only a half an hour drive over to Stony Point. You jump on the ferry, you walk 5 to 6 Ks into the campsite, you put your bag down. So for me, it was a nice, achievable hike to carry my pack and test all my gear. And I knew that if anything went pear-shaped, I was an hour from home. I'd be home in no
You
time.
had the
Yep.
availability for backup.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and
It's a smart way to go about it.
Yeah.
If it all goes to pot, you can turn around and go, I can be home within a few hours.
Yep, and if I have a really uncomfortable night, it's one night. When I get home, I got a nice hot shower.
Yep.
So I didn't have a long journey home either. So for me, that was a really nice way to bite off a new experience.
Yep.
Yes.
So I started collecting gear and I put it all out in my study and laid it all out and thought about it. I tested the tent a couple of times and did the research and bought one and then tested it a couple of times. And, then I thought, okay, I'm getting there. And then I started to overthink. Okay, I still need this, I still need that. And then one day I just went, just pick a date, Nadine.
Yep. That's
Date.
it.
It's always
Pull
the
the
way.
trigger. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And I thought, I came back to, if I have a terrible time, it's one night out of my life. Bit of discomfort is not that bad.
Yeah, you spend a couple of $100 to live like a poor person overnight and be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It's always the way, isn't it?
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
But you know, when you get out there, you don't feel poor at all.
No,
you feel so
don't.
rich.
You do.
Yeah.
Jeff, we've always talked about it. It's that grounding you get when you're out doing it, and you go. Doesn't matter where you are. You're out there, and you just go. Have that one big deep breath in, and you go. I'm actually doing this too.
Yeah.
That's
and
pretty cool.
It is a huge sense of achievement. And I could tell you a few stories about things I've done over the years that are outdoors that I do just feel like, oh man, that was just, wow, look at me, I'm doing this. It's so cool. And this French Island thing, even though to people who do lots of this, it might not feel like that big a deal, but to me, as a solo woman,
thing.
Carrying all my own gear, planning it, executing it, and following through, I felt like I had
Conquered the world.
achieved something really big.
Conquered the world.
Yeah.
It's opened that door now.
Yeah.
So you've done that first one. So where's the second one?
Good question. I've got a little bit of gear tweaking to do.
Yep.
I need to find some boots that are actually not going to cripple my feet.
Yep.
All you wide-feeted hikers out there, I feel your pain. So, yes, I have to find a pair of boots that are going to do the job for me. In the meantime, I'm just hiking in trail runners.
A lot of people do now. That's the thing. They've realised that they're light, easy, and they work.
Yeah, definitely. They're fantastic. They've got much more grip and traction than a normal road runner.
Yep.
It's only if you're carrying a pack that it's nice to have that extra cushioning. But if I can't find them, I'll go in trail runners because I'm not going to let something that small
Stop you.
stop me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. A great hike and a bad hike's one blister.
Exactly.
That's the only thing it takes.
Exactly.
So.
I can tell you a little remedy for that.
Yep.
And I learnt this in my trail running days. Sounds gross, but trust me, listeners, it works a treat. If you use just normal everyday Vaseline
Between the toes.
all over your feet,
Yep, I've
all
heard about
over
this.
your feet, smother your feet in it, then put your sock on.
Yep.
You will not get blisters.
And they did it.
Why?
They did it every day when they did Kokoda.
Yep.
Yep.
Why is that?
It keeps the moisture off your feet.
Oh, rightio.
Yeah. And it just provides the lubrication so that your feet don't develop blisters. But don't be skimpy with it.
Wow.
Be
You've
Got to
generous.
trowel it on there.
All over your ankles, your heels, in between your toes, underneath, everywhere. And it feels gross. It feels like it would be really gross, but it's not.
In my brain, I'm grossed out.
No,
Yeah.
the thing I'm looking
Try
at
it.
is I'm a big fan of decent merino socks when I'm hiking.
Yeah.
Even in summer, I'll put on decent thick merino socks. I'm thinking I'm going to slather my foot in Vaseline, then slide it inside a big woolly sock. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to come out looking like I'm still got my socks on, I reckon. But
You won't have a blister.
I won't have a blister. Look, in all honesty, I hike in my hunting boots.
Yeah.
They weren't cheap. They're very good quality. And I'd hate to think of the actual kilometres I've done in them. So I don't have any issues with blisters or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones that's worked that out. So
That's
It
good.
makes a big difference.
it does. And it's even the whole thing. If you start to feel like you could be getting that blister, that's the time to stop and actually address the situation.
Yeah.
Cover your feet in Vaseline, mate.
Yes, I've done lots of blister first aid on walkers and runners' feet
Yeah.
over the years.
Yep. It's amazing how much that one little thing can change a hike.
Yeah.
Back to French Island. So it was a 5K in, 5K back thing from the ferry.
Yeah, it was about 5 to 6 Ks, depending
Yep.
on the route that you took through the island. You can take the flat straight along the road, or there's another path that you can take that goes up on the other side of the road and over a bit.
Yep.
The campsite is really quite wide. There's nowhere particularly that you have to camp. You have to book. It's free, but you have to book a spot. But you can just camp anywhere when you get there.
Okay.
So it wasn't that far to walk. When I got off the boat and I put my pack on and I started walking, I just thought, I'm here. I'm doing it. It felt really cool to
Yep.
know that I hadn't let a sleeping bag or a this or a that, or maybe I haven't got that piece of food or whatever. I didn't let any of that stop me.
Yep.
Got to the campsite, set up my tent, was pretty proud of myself, and excuse me, and just absolutely enjoyed being there for the afternoon. I had a little nap in my tent. There were quite a few people there actually
Yep.
that night, and so I had a few chats. And it was just great. It was fabulous to just watch everyone else, enjoy the area, enjoy being outside,
Yep.
spending time together. I went down to the beach and watched the sunset, which was just fabulous.
It's always the best thing about doing a hike, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, especially on that side of French Island because you're on the west side of it, so you're seeing the sun go down.
Yep.
It was just magnificent.
Okay. Fantastic.
There were lots of scouts there, so a lot of people ask me if I'm scared. Weren't you scared as a single woman going out into the bush doing things? And I always say no. I could be scared. I could choose to be scared. I could choose to fear all the things that might go wrong. But the reward of actually doing it is just so much greater. And generally you find people out there are just so friendly, so kind, so helpful that fear just doesn't really become a part of it.
I was going to say that. It's that initial push for you to go and do it, but I've never met a grumpy person that's... the grumpy people are normally a kilometre from their car on their way back out.
Yeah, and they're just tired.
And they're just tired and had enough, and they just want to be home. Me and my wife did Mount Feathertop along the Razorback, so that's 10 k's into the campsite. And we came across an elderly couple, and the woman actually had a fall on the Razorback the year prior, broken her leg, been carted out on a stretcher by the SES, done all of her rehab, and that was her first trek hiking in. And they were just going to take their time. We were in at camp. We'd already summited Feathertop and came back down by the time they turned up. And we were actually waiting for them to get to camp, and we walked over with our little celebratory drinks that we normally sneak in and said, well, hey, let's cheers. Congratulations, you actually made it. So
that's amazing.
And
good on them for getting back out there and not letting that one experience
wreck it. Yeah.
Robbed them of it forever.
I think a broken leg would stop me going back.
Oh, no, it wouldn't stop me. I'd be back out as soon. I'd probably be out hobbling with crutches.
You would, yeah. Three legs instead of two.
That's what runners do.
Stuff that.
They break a leg and they say, can I run next weekend?
Yeah. No,
Couldn't do it.
I've got a video that I took because we had some trail runners coming up the back of us. And I said to the wife, look out, we've got trail runners coming through, and videoed them. I'm like, I don't get what it is with these people that decide I'm going to run out here and run back in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. But
I think my oldest wants to try trail running.
okay.
I'm like, you're ill. Do a Tough Mudder or something like that, but they've all shut down since COVID.
I think some of them are coming back now.
Are they?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of advertising. There's one or two popping back up.
Okay.
My twins and the wife had just did Fame Fest in
Oh,
London.
that's right. Yep.
So, yeah, that was a fun one for them, the 5K. So, lots of inflatables and foam and mud and water. And yeah.
Jim will be all over that.
Oh, mate, that's the same thing from what I've heard from Tough Mudder, though. You run in between the obstacles.
Yep.
Then you get to them in your queue.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're running a 5Ks constantly.
Flat stick.
You were getting there, having a rest, getting there, having a rest. So,
How'd you get into camping?
How did I get into it? I have never really been a tent overnight type camper.
No, you were saying 5 stars, not a million.
Yeah, and then my husband and I, we have always had, pretty much always had a camper van.
Yep.
So we had, first of all, a Toyota Hi-Ace pop top.
Yep.
And we loved it. We had so many fantastic adventures.
What did you name it?
We actually don't name any of our stuff. We've never been into naming stuff.
My goodness.
Nah.
Everyone I
can't
know
do it.
that's got one of those vans, they all name them.
Tried to, didn't stick. Can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had a camper van, loved it.
Yep.
Then we got sick of banging our heads. So Ian bought a coaster bus, an old school bus, and that became his COVID project. So I was working at the hospital and he was doing that. And so I call myself the bus widow because I never saw him. But it was worth it because now we have this amazing coaster bus that we travel in. And I love it. But for me, it's too big. I can drive it, no problem.
Yep.
But if I just want to do a quick one night, go out somewhere, do an overnight, hike in the morning and then drive home, it's just a bit big and slow and cumbersome for me.
Yep.
So I started thinking, well, what can I do? Because I want to get out there, but I really don't want to take the bus. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to take my car. So I've got a Kia Seltos hatchback.
Yep.
And I went deep into YouTube videos of car camping.
Yeah. Oh, that's a rabbit warren and a half.
100%. And so I decided, you know what? I'm just going to use what I've got. So I started camping in my car and I had so much fun setting it up. So I just bought from the op shop, I bought a little foam mattress and I cut it to size, and I bought an esky to go behind the front seat to prop up the mattress.
Just going to point to Drew. Esky, not a fridge. Constantly thing that we've got going on. Sorry.
Well, okay, well I have, let me get to that.
Oh, you've got a fridge too.
I've got a story. All right, like this is an escalating situation.
Okay.
So I bought all the bits and pieces, and I had a little setup. My shoes go there, and my hiking pack my day pack goes there, and my poles go there, and blah blah blah. So I worked it all out, and I started car camping. And I did the first one. I went to a birthday party in sort of Ringwood area, and I
Yep.
thought, right, from there I'm going to go on and I'm going to do something. It was August. What was I thinking? It was
Winter.
freezing.
Best time of year.
Oh, to camp in your car for the very first time.
Yeah, why not? Rip the Band-Aid off.
It was great. It was fantastic. So I went up to Yarra Glen and I just found a little hidey hole to camp in because I
Yep.
just stealth camp. I don't do caravan parks as
Yep.
a general rule. So I found a little hidey hole and I camped there and I just had the best time and I just felt so free. And I went up and hiked Sugarloaf. There's like a 12K round the
Yep.
reservoir there. So I did that and I just loved it. So I did that a few times. I went to Marysville and I went to Plenty Gorge and I did a few little ones like that. Just had a ball. And then I started thinking, how great would it be if I had my own little van?
Yeah.
And then, see, this escalates. It just escalates. And then I decided that it was a little bit, you know, it's, what do I need? You know, like that's just too much. I don't need another vehicle. And, you know, like that's now becoming an expensive hobby. And then Ian was great. He just said, you know what? If you're going to use it and you're going to enjoy it, just do it.
Yep.
So I put a limit on the budget and we decided that we'd buy a Toyota Coaster, a Toyota Super Custom High Ace.
Right.
So
Yep.
what they are is they're a Japanese import and they're essentially a people mover. So they drive like a car. They
Yep.
drive really nicely.
Yep.
And that's perfect for me. So we stripped that out of all the seats and we turned that into my camper. So it's got a beautiful, comfy double bed.
That's awesome.
We did it in like next to no money.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Or not next to no money, but pretty cheap. We bought a really cheap bed frame and we installed that and, you know, jiggled it around to make it fit and put some
Yep.
supports and everything.
Yep.
I got a mattress from the op shop. We've got a big warehouse op shop down where I live. And I
Like
got
a
this
Savers or something like that.
Oh, like a big rotary one. It's a
Okay,
huge
yep, yep.
one. It's got all this furniture. It's a treasure trove.
Yep.
And so I went in there and I picked up a mattress for $100. That is a really good quality one. Like looks like it's hardly been slept on. So I'm always comfortable.
Yep.
Bought some linen, and then over time it just grew and grew. So I bought a fridge in the Christmas sales last year.
Yep.
I found a piece of furniture on the side of the road which looked like it would fit perfectly between the back of the chair and the bed. So put that in, put the fridge on top of it. So now I've got shelves. Bought a couple of plastic tubs that become storage underneath the fridge. And then in the back, I did spend a little bit of money. I bought a pull-out kitchen from BCF.
Yep.
And I bought a pull-out drawer. And we installed all of that. And then that's perfect. I've got containers to put all my things in. And I don't need much because, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's just me.
Yep.
Yep.
So I only need for myself, I just have a cheap butane stove, which cost me $25 from Kmart.
They are the best.
And my husband has absolutely mod-conned this thing up. So now I have, listeners, I have a 55-litre water tank
Yes.
and I can have a hot shower after a hike.
One
Awesome.
of those instant hot water units.
No, it's got to have the engine running and
Yep.
it warms up the water as I go.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, and I've got a little hose thing that I can have. I mean, like, hopefully there's no one around because I may be nude in the bush. That's fine.
It's all about being free.
Exactly.
That's it.
I have a diesel heater, so there is no reason for me to ever be uncomfortable. All times of the year, I can use my van.
There you go.
Camping in August.
What a
There you
setup
go.
that is.
That's awesome, Nadine.
Yeah, so cool.
That is cool as.
Now, as a question,
Yeah.
you said before you didn't feel comfortable solo hiking, but you felt comfortable solo car camping. Is that because you had the car, you could lock it and get away if need be? Is that... I'm just trying to get my head around this a little bit.
Yeah,
that's
how
all.
I made the transition.
Yeah.
I think I just felt like tents and carrying everything was too hard.
Okay, yep.
And so I just had to break that down.
Yep.
And figure out how I was going to do that
Okay.
without it being too hard. And
Yep.
that was another reason why I did one night and not a very long hike.
Yep.
So that I could test all of that.
Gives you that little test run to see if what you need to chop and change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We were mentioning that last episode, weren't we? Start your packs off cheap,
That's
build them
right.
up,
Yep.
and start your hike slowly.
Mm.
And I mean, Nadine, you're evidence of that.
The pack I use is I think it's a 65 litre. And I bought it from Decathlon probably several years ago. A bunch of us went and did 3 capes in Tasmania.
Yep.
And we bought it for that.
That'd
So
be fantastic.
It
hike
was
to do.
amazing. Yeah, it was great. It's not the most fabulous pack in the world, but
Yep.
it's the pack I've got, so it's the pack I use.
That works, yep.
And it's totally fine as long as I pack it nicely, you know, like make sure I even out the weight and
Yep.
make it accessible for myself. It's perfect. So it's very much use what you've got It doesn't have to be perfect. You can absolutely paralyze yourself waiting for the perfect everything. And if you do that, you'll never do anything.
My wife tells me off because I've got a bag obsession. So I've got an 88 litre, I've got a 55, I've got a 60, I've got a 25, I've got a 30.
But you have to have the right bag for the right
Well,
moment.
that's right. That's it. Yeah.
You're encouraging him.
I will say I would not want to carry a full 85 litre pack though.
I've done it once or twice in some pretty steep country, and you know about it. So I bought that simply because it's an Osprey 88 litre, so it's a fairly decent pack. But I can go on a hike with my wife, and if something's not right in her pack or if she's feeling fatigued, I can take the extra weight and put it into mine. So
I can't even get my husband out hiking, let alone carrying my gear for me.
or I can pack the whole kitchen sink and take everything with us and be sorted. But yeah,
What do you take food-wise?
Well, that was a bit of trial and error. I picked my weekend and I was like, what am I going to take food-wise? And I ended up just getting a what do you call
Dehydrated
them? A
meal.
dehydrated meal.
Yep.
I probably picked a not very good quality one because I took 2 bites of it and I went, I'm not eating this. It was disgusting.
And some of them, the big thing is to always try really before you go because you find out the hard way and you go, well, I've got nothing else.
I had plenty of snacks. I was totally fine. I was not going to starve. For me personally, I like tasty food. So I don't think I would do dehydrated food again.
Yep.
I think for me, I would figure out a way to take other things, whether it be pasta or dry pasta, which is really light to carry.
Yep.
I'll figure it out. I'm not taking dehydrated again.
Now, I will say one thing. I've come across a dehydrated dessert, and I absolutely love it. It's like an apple crumble. They do an apple crumble, apricot crumble, or apple and berry. And I was sceptical, took it with me and just went, all right, it's time to try this. It was fantastic.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah.
Because I just take a block of chocolate. I'm sweet.
I've got a mate that does that as well. There'll be a block of chocolate for every day. So,
Yeah.
We've done a couple of comparisons.
We've done a few. We had...
We used on-track meals,
which
which are pack-made, but they're cooked. All you got to do is heat them up in hot
they're
water.
batch made.
Batch made, that's it. We got steak in a bag. So all you do is put the bag in the water, boil it.
Simmer.
Simmer the bag
Yep.
for 10 minutes, and it's a pull-apart like you'd buy from a
So
restaurant.
like a vacuum sealed type thing.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
in a roundabout way.
Yeah, right.
Yep. But they do a whole heap of different foods.
I've actually got a hike coming up next week, and I've got, for my first night, I'm doing the bean burritos that we made and tried.
Yep.
They've got a Mexican bean mix. It's delicious. A
Yep.
little bit of spice to it. Second night, spaghetti bolognese. They just do the sauce, though. You've got to take your own pasta. And then the third night's butter chicken and rice.
Sounds like a
And
great menu.
Yeah. When you turn around and go, I'm sitting in the middle of nowhere eating this. Me and my wife did a hike down to Little Waterloo Bay. We were sitting on the beach eating steak and mashed potato for dinner that was reheated in their flameless heater bags
It's fantastic.
too.
Oh, that was the other thing. They do a flameless heater bag.
Takes 60 mil of water.
Yep. To activate inside, and then it steams in the bag
Oh, wow.
and
it
creates the
heats
heat.
it all. Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
cracker for doing hikes
They're-
and
You're really trying to get me to try again, aren't you?
yeah, 100%. But these aren't dehydrated.
Yeah,
they're
they're
actually
different.
legitimate tasty foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like real food. I don't like
this is.
things that don't taste like real food.
Yeah, no, this stuff's it's full of flavour, to be honest.
We did the bean and burrito mix and put a bag of Uncle Ben's in there as well, the rice mix, and mixed the two together, and we had 3 burritos out.
Yeah, 3.
You had 2, I had 1.
Yeah, 3 burritos. Yeah.
Awesome.
They were
So-
delicious.
They were great. But
So,
yeah,
mate-
that's our recommendation for you.
And you just,
Love it.
your little cookie, you just simmer the water away with them in there, or you can do the flameless heater bags. And I use the flameless heater bags, and then that's where your rubbish goes. So it's like that second use that you can use for the Ziploc bag. So, yeah. Oh, my mouth's watering.
I know, right?
I haven't had dinner yet, so.
Have you had a camping or hiking disaster?
When I went to the Grampians with my girlfriend and we did 2 nights up there, I was looking at the weather and I thought the middle day is just going to be wet.
Yep.
It's going to be just pouring with rain the whole time. And my friend was like, yeah, it's fine. So we hiked in the first day, no worries. I didn't have proper boots on that one, so I was
Yep.
wearing trail runners, which are not waterproof.
Yep.
And we hiked in, set up camp, and guess what? It poured through the night and all through the next day. And we decided actually not to hike on because we were hiking on the Grampians Peak Trail and we were going to go
Very
higher
exposed.
and the rocks were going to get more and more slippery. So we actually made the call to just stay the day at the campsite we were at.
Yep.
And then we would hike a different route out the following day. So that's what we did.
Yep.
So we stayed there the whole day. So it was kind of a disaster, but you know, whenever there's a disaster, you just kind of make the best of it, right?
You find an opportunity outside of that.
Yeah, so
Yep.
we spent the day there. It was just the two of us, and we just sat there and chatted and cooked our lunch. We actually moved our tent under the cover because this was one of the very few campsites that had a big cover.
Yep.
So we moved our tent to right in the middle of that. We thought, there's no one else here. No
Why
one's
not?
coming in tonight.
Bonus.
So
Yep.
we did that. We lit a fire, a very, very small fire in
That's
the
for
corner.
heating or for cooking.
It was so cold.
Yeah.
And so we did that and we kept an eye on it and we made
Yeah.
sure we put it out properly and all the rest of it. And that was actually safer than probably not having it because we actually were really very cold.
Yeah.
And later that night, probably when we were just settling down with our hot chocolate, ready to settle down for bed, a huge school group walked in. And we thought, oh, great, here we go. But these teenagers, they were so nice and they were all wet and tired and hungry. So my friend and I, we just said, how can we help?
Yep.
So we just started cooking the dinner while they put all their tent. We said, give us your food. We started just boiling water and putting getting the food together for them so that they had one less thing to do.
Yep.
And they were fantastic. They were
That
a
is
great group
awesome.
of kids. Yeah.
We came across a group of kids hiking into Feathertop. I'll go back to it because this is one thing that stuck in my mind. This one kid at the back that looked like he was struggling had a harmonica in his mouth and breathing through it. So every step was... I just giggled and I walked past and went, good on you.
Yeah.
Hope you can keep it up for 4 hours.
I know. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good, and we did hike out a different route, and we still went. That was actually really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
You weren't stretched for food or anything because you ended up spending the extra day. You'd already planned for that.
We didn't spend extra time. We
Yep.
just spent one day not moving.
Yep.
So we had enough food. And we just felt like for us that was the safer option on that occasion.
You got to be smart about it.
Yeah, totally. Because the last thing we wanted is, somewhat middle-aged women is getting up to a peak. We wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway.
Yep.
So the view that we were climbing up to see was not going to be visible. So
There's a lot of people that have that happen.
yeah, and
Yep.
that's fine. If it was dry, we would have done it anyway.
Yep. And
But
just stared into the clouds.
yeah, knowing
Yep.
what the trail was like, it
Yep.
wasn't worth the risk.
That's right. Risk versus reward.
What'd be your bucket list? 2 hikes that you got to do.
Oh gosh. So there's two locally that I've got on my low-hanging fruit radar, and that is Mount Tassie,
Yep.
which I think is about 16 kilometres. So that'll just be a take the van out, hike it, come back.
Yep.
I feel pretty confident to do that on my own. And then Feathertop, I do want to
Feathertop?
do. Yeah.
It is beautiful. It's very
Yeah.
exposed, but it is beautiful.
So my question is to myself whether I would do it as a big one day or whether I'll do it as an overnight.
Well, Cam's done it a few times. You'd be the one to...
I would suggest hike out, stay the night at Federation Hut. Now, water there can be dependent, but there is a spring over near the MUMC hut that people use. So you can get water in there. It's not always all the time. We did it that way, overnighted it. So we've hiked in, set our camp, had a bit of a rest period. Then we actually summited for the sunset.
Yeah, nice.
So it was worth it.
Yeah.
Doing it that way. You get a good night's sleep, you wake up refreshed,
You hike back
and then
out.
you hike back out.
Okay,
So
I think you've sold me on that.
It's the Razorback's a bit of a grind because you go, oh, we're getting closer, and then you drop down another gully, and you come
There's
back
a few
up.
different routes in there, isn't there?
There is. You can come up from the township below
Yeah.
and up, which is a lot of elevation gain, or you can do the long walk out along the Razorback from Diamantina Hut. So that's the way we did it. Sign in. There's a couple of sections where people have gone up and over ridges, and there's a track that'll go around it. So it's a sort of choose your own adventure as you go. But
Yeah, a bit more research on that one, but that's definitely one I need to tick off.
Yep.
A bit more widely. I want to get out to Wilson's Prom.
Yep.
There's the one on the south coast of New South Wales that I mentioned. There's one in Coffs Harbour area, which is like a 4-day, 80K hike.
Yep.
I like those ones because you can just take a day pack, and actually my husband said he'll just meet me each day.
That would be
is
perfect.
ideal.
You don't have to carry all the stuff then.
Yeah, just take a day
Just your
pack.
lunch and everything. Yep.
Or I'll just stay in accommodation along the way. So they're nice ones to do.
Yep.
So there's quite a lot. And also I do love doing that stuff overseas. So I have done a few adventures overseas, and I have got one on my radar at the moment. It's just brewing, but I'm thinking about booking the Inca Trail.
Ooh,
Wow.
So
that'd be a lot of
yeah.
elevation gain and
yeah,
drop.
I'm thinking I need to do
Yeah.
quite a lot of Stairmaster and pistol squats to get ready for that one.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like life is short. You get one life and you live it every day.
That's it.
And as long as you're not hurting anyone, do the things you want to do.
Yep.
Spend your money on adventures.
You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
Yep. Far out. That'd be pretty cool. Never thought about even looking overseas for them.
No.
Okay, so do you want to hear about one of my overseas adventures?
Yeah, come on. What
Go
have we
on.
got?
So a couple of years ago, I really wanted to go to Canada. I've wanted to go to Banff for a long time for the hiking and the scenery. And so I booked it. And I decided I was going to get a camper van to go through Banff and Jasper. I had no idea what I was doing. I just booked the camper van out of Calgary, and then I'll just work it out. And then I was like, oh my God, how am I going to drive a camper van on the wrong side of the road in,
In the snow.
Canada? It was summer, so I knew
Okay.
there'd be no snow.
Yep.
Anyway, my cousin came with me on that trip. Just in the last 6 weeks, we decided she'd come with me, so it was fantastic. And we had the best time. So we picked hikes, and she's not a hiker.
Yep.
She at the time was a smoker, so we would be hiking along and she would be silently cursing me under her breath behind me, and I'd turn around and her head would be down and she'd be like ploughing away trying to get up this hill, and then I'd put my camera up and she would straighten up and give me a big posy smile. So all the photos are of her having the best time, living her best life on these hills.
And in between going back to the suffering.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. But we actually hiked Lake Louise, which is this big, beautiful, famous lake in Banff National Park.
Yep.
And you hike up to Little Agnes, or there's a tea house. And then if you keep going further, there's Little Agnes, which is this higher point looking out over the lake. So we started nice and early. And as we hiked up, we went through warmer weather. We went through a bit of snow. We slipped on, mushy snow because it was June, which is their summer, but it was still just melting. And we got to the top, and the higher you got, the bluer the water looked.
Yep.
It was just iridescent by the time we got to the top.
Wow.
And it was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely, it's just one of those memories that is just...
And it's the
I'll
thing
never
you
forget.
wouldn't have seen if you hadn't have walked up that hill either.
That's right.
Yep.
There's so many places that you just don't get the same bang if you don't use your body to get there.
Yep.
And we always say using our body when we travel, whether it be riding, cycling, kayaking, walking, running, hiking, that's how you really experience a country.
Yeah.
So quite a few years ago now, my husband and I did a 2.5-week cycling trip in Vietnam. So we started in Hanoi and we cycled to Ho Chi Minh with a section in the middle where we did the overnight train.
Yep.
We did a tour for that one. We did an Intrepid tour,
Yep.
but it was fantastic. And we experienced sides of Vietnam that you'd never get to experience because you're doing it with using your body. So
Yep.
there was one day where we started out, it was so hot and everyone was just dying. It was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. Then we came across this water hole. So we all just stripped off, jumped in the water, had a swim, woohoo, living life. Then we get back on the bike and after lunch, it poured, like tropical, poured with rain.
Welcome to Vietnam.
Yeah, 100%. But once you get wet, you just go, oh, this is great.
Too
And
late
you
now.
just,
Yep.
you just ride. And we all finished with just such high energy because it was such a great experience. So while everything is not going to go to plan on every trip you plan, they're the ones you talk about.
Yeah,
I was with
100%.
someone recently and all we did was talk about our travel fails, and we're like, we're not telling each other about the things that went well because that's not where the growth and the learning and the
That's
memories
right.
are.
100%.
I mean, they're there. The memories are
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But the real memories, the real wow moments are when things maybe don't go quite to plan.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
good
it-
skew if.
It leaves a open agenda for other things to happen.
And you get the learning out of it too. You go, well, maybe that wasn't the right thing I needed to do, or I shouldn't have pushed on. I should have stopped earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've had that.
When we were in Vietnam for our honeymoon, we went out on motorbikes and we'd got to know the people there. The bloke who ran the motorbike tour was from Brisbane. And we got along with him really well, had a beer after the first bike tour, and he goes, hey, if you guys want to come back, I'll do you half price. I want to go through some new areas. Viv fell over and took a bit of skin off her shoulder and her hip and all that, but we got to ride past orphanages and high-fiving all these kids, and we went to places that normal tours never saw, and that was the eye-opener of Vietnam. Yeah, away from the tourist trail was incredible.
Yeah.
And I think hiking, for you guys talking about hiking, I reckon that'd be the same thing. You're actually seeing something completely different from a different point of view.
It is. And like you said, it's that you're using yourself to get in there, and you get there and go, crap, I actually made this in.
100%.
Yeah.
So there's personal achievement, but then there's mental and physical achievements. Because would you say with your hiking and you achieve that, your endorphins are higher, your mind's clearer, everything like that? So you're using your body.
So there's a few things around the research about why these things are so good for us. So the first one is that green space, we're designed to be in green space.
Yep.
So
I only laugh because I've had a couple of bad days and we Snapchat a lot. And I've said to Cam, today's just absolutely, choosing my words here, on top of me. And he goes, mate, get out of the truck, take your boots and socks off and ground yourself for 10 minutes.
Walk around on the grass.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever, mate, you're an idiot. And I go and do it and my brain's completely different.
Totally.
But he'll never admit that I was right.
You just did. I got that.
I
We
did.
got that. It's recorded.
Okay, it's recorded. No, he'll edit that out.
I will.
So the research shows that the more we're surrounded by green space and natural environments, the better it is for our mental health and calms our nervous system. So even, for instance, if you put, I mean, we're largely inside. Like the research shows that we spend more than 90% of our lives inside now, which is just not how we were designed. Mm-hmm. And so if you even put a screensaver of a natural environment on your computer, that's one layer. That's going to improve more than having a picture of your car, right?
Yep.
Then if you put a plant in your office, that's going to improve. That's another layer. If you step out into your garden, that's another layer. If you go to the beach, that's another layer. If you go deep into the bush, that is multiple immersive layers, which is so good for your nervous system and your mental health.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I've been reading lately is about dopamine and about the balance between pleasure and pain. So one of the reasons why we're struggling so much as a society with mental health is because we're always looking for pleasure. Yep. And our body is trying to balance our pleasure and pain. So because we're immersing ourselves in so much activity that creates pleasure, looking for dopamine, our body's going, yeah, but wait, you need a bit of friction. You need a bit of pain to balance this out. And so that's where we get our mental distress. It's a body's protective mechanism. So we all need a bit of friction. So if you want to improve your mental health, do something that's a bit uncomfortable. Take a cold shower.
Come hiking with me, Drew.
Go and walk. Yeah. Go and walk on some uneven stones that hurt your feet a bit.
Yep.
Go and do something that's a bit hard.
I'm just going through the checklist of what I've done last week. Tick.
And the minute you do that, the minute you do something that's a bit hard, a bit uncomfortable, and pushes on your pain buttons, your body will go, well, hang on, you need a bit of dopamine, you need a bit of pleasure to balance this out,
here's the
and
reward.
You'll feel great.
Yep. This is where I'm spoilt for choice.
But that's
an hour either way. I'm at the beach or in the high country. So.
Same, yeah.
You've actually just clarified a lot of early theories that people talk about. You need pleasure to accept pain. You need pain to realise pleasure.
Yes.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So if you think about third world countries and why those people always look happy, it's partly because they don't have the constantly comfortable life that we have.
Yep.
You know, we drive into our garage and we open the door and we drive in. We don't see a neighbour. We put the door down. We go into our house. We don't get up off the couch. We put something in the microwave. We don't have to use our bodies. We don't have to use our minds. We don't have to do much. It's all very comfortable.
And that layer upon layer upon layer over time makes you more and more lazy. So then there's no troughs and peaks. either, is there?
You're
Because
just
it becomes a
looking for,
normal.
Well, how do you find more pleasure when you've got the most pleasure that you can possibly have?
Step outside.
Yeah.
Straight
You've got to
away.
find some friction.
Far
That's why
out.
we need to work. When we work, we feel that we're rewarded for our time off because we've earned it.
Yep.
We've pressed on the pain, so we now get the pleasure.
Yeah. 4 days of night shifts and then a day off and then 4 days of day shifts. That's enough pain.
I only finished night shift this morning, so I know what you're talking about.
I gave up night shift a long time ago. And if you think about retirees too, a lot of them struggle with their mental health when they retire because all of a sudden they don't have the friction and they
Because everything's just cruisy.
everything's crazy.
That's why they play golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the pain.
They're looking
That's
for the pain. Yeah.
Sorry, that's a bit of a dig at my parents
No,
because
that's
they play
it.
golf.
I'm not a golfer
And it's
either.
kind of the
so-
period of time in your life where you need to be trying to keep active and keep yourself a little bit of pain to keep the pleasure.
Absolutely, absolutely, and a sense of identity and a sense of feeling that you still have something to contribute.
And a bit of achievement.
A bit of achievement.
Yep.
So there's a lot of research about what makes a good retirement or a good aging.
Mm-hmm.
And so as well as all the things we know like exercise, community, strength exercises, good nutrition, not smoking, all the things we know, one of the really important, well, three of the really important things is novelty. So learning something new.
Yep.
Because that creates, what happens is if you don't learn something new, whether it be a language or a sport or a
skill.
hobby, a skill, whatever it might be, or
Yep.
going to new places, things like that, what that does is it creates neural pathways in your brain, new neural pathways. It's new growth.
Yep.
Yeah. If you never do that, if you have the perfect average day and you do the same thing over and over again, your brain goes, I don't need that pathway. I don't need that pathway. I don't need that pathway. And it chops them off.
Wow.
So it's really important to have novelty, whatever that looks like for you. Another thing that it's really important to have is a sense of awe. So looking for a way to find that moment where you go,
Like something that'll take your breath away.
yeah,
Yep.
something that makes you feel small in the face of it. So that's really important too, because it gives you perspective.
It's funny. I'm applying that to previous trips we've done, like Cape York, things like that. And one of the highlights on my trip, you saying about feeling small, when we're at Bathurst, we stopped on the racetrack and we watched the sun come up and we're like, not going to see the sun, there's all this cloud. But the sun cracked into the clouds and the clouds were below us. And it was like we're on top of a mountain looking at snow. And we stood there for at least 20 minutes in awe of this. And we've got photos, and I still look at it and go, that was a highlight. Merely clouds that we see every day, it was a complete awe, and I felt miniature because of it. It really blew my mind.
Yeah.
So that really relates and makes sense.
Yeah.
And why hikers or trail runners or, I mean, for Cam and I being
Oberon.
hunters, even Oberon,
Me with Oberon. So
1:30 in the morning, this
Yeah,
unit goes and climbs up there to look at the...
I took photos of the Aurora Australis.
Amazing.
And got up there and was taking photos, and I could see it all with the naked eye. It was the brightest I've ever seen it. And it was one of my biggest things on my bucket list I wanted to see. And I'm sitting there and I just stopped taking photos. I just sat there and took it all in. It was fantastic.
I think there's only so many photos you can take, and then you're just ruining it.
That's right.
You cannot get another good photo. Just
Yeah.
stop and look.
I've said it that many times. I really wish they made a camera that could take what your eye can see,
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter how many photos you take. It's
no,
never.
no.
It doesn't
Never
have
enough.
the emotion that you carry when you see it with your naked eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the things you see on the way to going to see that too. That
True.
Are those little bits of food for the soul, and then you get to that big reward at the end, and you go, "Yep, that's what I did. That's why we're doing this."
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing about all those elements that you need for good aging and good mental health and all the rest of it is the one tried and true and always there way of experiencing all of those things in one place is getting outside.
Yep.
Getting off the couch.
Get outdoors.
Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you.
So you can experience all of them
Yeah.
Yes.
in the outdoors, in
And
whatever
all it
way
takes
you
is
choose.
one step out of your front door.
Yeah.
And it begins.
Yeah.
That's
Mate,
you've said more in this episode than you've said exactly our ethos to this. That's 100%.
The thing was too, this that I love the most. This has started from coming on to talk about you doing a solo hike for your first time.
Yeah.
And it's also come across to that mental side of it, the grounding that
Yes.
we've always spoken about.
100%.
And far out, if that helps somebody, that gives them a push.
When I had
Thank
my
you.
break from nursing, I retrained as a health and wellness coach.
Yep.
So I deep dive into all that. And I actually do talks at the library and I talk about all this type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've looked into all the research and listened to other, experts on this topic and read books about it.
Yep.
So, yeah, all the things that I've said, they are all research-based.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, I know you're not one to talk rubbish when it comes to that. So,
Yeah.
More
and I
than-
love it. It lights me up too because it's
Yeah.
like it gives you answers.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
helps you to explain to people why these things are so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here we are just trying to go, get up and get outside. Go just have fun.
Yeah.
Go do a small adventure. Do something close. Do something local.
Well, not only encouraging people just to get off the couch, Nadine, you've just backed us up with research
Yeah.
into
Scientific
why.
fact.
We've got science on our side now.
100%. I'm a scientist. No.
I'm not.
But we'll give it a crack.
Yeah, I just walk far and lift heavy things.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
So
Any more pearls of wisdom?
Oh, my God, so many.
Come on, mate.
I was actually going to quiz you up on a couple of other
Yeah,
things
go
now.
for it. You reckon you could almost do 2 episodes out of this? You cut
Quite
it.
possibly.
Well, we're up to nearly an hour already.
Oh, well,
so
there you go. We could divvy it up, or we could keep it running as a big whole hour. It doesn't
I don't
really
know if
matter.
people want to listen to me for that long.
Oh, you'll be surprised. I was surprised people listen to me and him. Right, so getting back to your hiking. Now, we've discussed it on the podcast before. Personal locator beacons. What do you do? Have you got the phone that'll link up to the satellite text? Or have you got a locator beacon? So if you are isolated, you've still got that means of the oh crap button.
That's a work in progress for me.
Yep.
I haven't got a PLB yet. I
Yep.
need one.
It's a really good episode you could go back and listen to.
I will. I'll do that. Thanks for the tip.
cheap, medium, and expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I do is that's where it comes back to choosing my hikes. I won't go into places where I'm going to be, completely isolated. No one's ever going to come along. The weather's going to turn on me. All of those, I start too late in the day.
Yep.
I'm very conscious about all of those things. I always have my phone. I've got on it Vic Emergency, obviously 000. I have three words. Yes.
Bingo.
So I have all of these on my phone.
Yep.
I always hike with my phone in airplane mode,
Yep.
so my battery doesn't run flat, and I always carry a fully charged battery pack.
Yep.
And
Brilliant.
cord. So that's what I do now, but in order to go to farther places, I do need a PLB.
Yep.
I just haven't deep dived into that yet.
Yep.
But there's still so much I can do without that. I mean, just go to
that's
the
right.
Danny Knobs. You'll
100%.
never be without
Yeah.
without reception.
Yeah, I just did the Channel 10 track. I was down for a week-long training course and went, bugger it. I'm going to go walk a track that I used to ride on mountain bikes, and I can tell you, it's a world of difference now to what it used to be.
Yeah.
Because you're old.
No, it used to be a washed-out nanny goat track that we
Oh, yeah.
hammer down on mountain bikes.
Exactly.
And it's this beautiful, smooth gravel path.
Yep.
Yeah. There's plenty on the Mornington Peninsula where you can hike with full reception, but even if you don't have reception for long, there's going to be someone come along.
That's right,
Or
yeah.
you can shuffle your way out. It's not that far until
Yep.
you can find somewhere with reception. So choosing hikes wisely to make sure that even if you don't necessarily have reception for the whole way, that, perhaps someone will come along, or you could maybe get yourself out, or you've got plenty of hours of daylight to figure out a solution.
It's that pre-planning,
I
realistically.
was going to say, you don't want to sit there and hope, do you?
No.
Really?
Hope doesn't help.
No.
Yep.
No. So, yeah, PLB definitely on my list.
Yep.
So watch this space.
And you mentioned gear changes. You wanted to do some tweaks on gear, did you say, earlier on
Yeah,
in the
so
piece?
if I want to do more overnight hiking, really, really happy with my tent.
Yep.
I spent some decent money and did some research on a decent mat.
Yes.
So I was pretty comfy on that. I need to revisit sleeping bags. When
Yep.
I started car camping, I bought a really great Cedar Summit one, but it's just too big. It doesn't pack
Pack
down
down.
far enough.
Yep.
So again, I took it because it was fine. My pack has a big section at the bottom, so it just fits in there. So I just shoved it in there and made it work.
Yep.
And I was super snug when I did my hike. So happily we'll use that again. But if I want to do longer ones where I need to carry more food, then I need a smaller sleeping
yeah,
bag.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's something I'll need to tweak. Obviously my shoes need tweaking and my food needs that's, like I need to work on my food. But apart from that, I was pretty happy with it all. Another thing I could talk about is my rain jacket.
Yes.
So I struggle with a rain jacket. I've looked into them. Finding an all-purpose jacket is really challenging.
Yep.
So my new strategy, which needs to be tested, so don't take my advice, listeners, think about it for yourself, is I always do layers, so T-shirts,
your
merino,
layering system.
all the rest of it. Then I had to replace my just normal puffer jacket, so I waited for a sale. I always wait for a sale. I got a really good MacPack one that's going to be nice and warm and packs down really small.
Yep.
And so what I would do if it's raining is I'm going to buy a really good poncho so that I can just put it over everything, over the pack, over my clothes, over everything.
Yep.
Cedar Summit Nano.
Okay.
They're not cheap. They pack down to next to nothing and weigh bugger all.
Yeah.
Is that a jacket or a poncho?
It's a poncho.
Okay.
And they can be used to make you a makeshift shelter to get you out of the rain too.
Of course.
Oh, there
So
you go.
there's
Yeah.
that multi-use on them.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of Cedar Summit stuff.
Yeah.
It costs a bit, but you have the longevity out
The
of
longevity.
it at the same
Yeah.
time. So with your sleeping bag,
Yeah.
I know I'll sprout another thing. I should try and hit up Cedar Summit for a sponsorship deal.
Definitely.
Not sponsored, but could be.
Not sponsored, but would love to be.
Anyone out there?
So they have now they've brought out a dry bag that's a compression sack as well. So I bought a 13-litre one. So my Cedar Summit sleeping bag, it's the long as well. I can fit that down into my 13-litre compression sack and then crank it down even further and be able to fit. I have the same little pouch in the bottom of my big pack for the sleeping bag. I can get my mat, my pillow, and my sleeping bag in there with that compression bag.
Amazing.
So
maybe I need to get one of those.
Have a look into it, maybe,
Yeah.
instead of spending all the extra.
On another sleeping bag.
What about your sleeping bag liner?
Yes. Now,
Yeah,
do you run a
have you
sleeping
heard
bag
about them?
liner?
Yes, I have. I haven't needed one because this sleeping bag is so warm.
Yep.
So it actually has a zip on the bottom, so if your feet get too warm, you can unzip
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. But I haven't needed a sleeping bag liner, and I'm the only one who sleeps in it, so I'm not worried about cooties.
When I managed to score my trip over to Snake Island, it was that cold, my peanut butter that I'd carted in froze. And I was in my sleeping bag liner with a beanie on, in a flannelette shirt, merino socks, merino thermals, and it was bearable. You could sleep, but it was bloody cold.
I can tell you I'm not yet that hardcore, and not sure I ever will be.
I still reckon you just jump in your jocks. That's always been my theory.
Yeah. It was proper cold that
Yeah.
night. Yeah. That was probably the coldest night I reckon
Every
I've had.
sleeping bag, I think the most I've ever done is a t-shirt.
The main thing
But-
is to make sure the sleeping bag's down around your neck.
Stops at your neck, yeah.
Do not put your face in it, because as soon as you breathe in there, you're putting condensation in.
100%.
That's moisture. That traps the cold. So
That's probably why those student sleeping bags stick to me all the time.
yeah, possibly.
Because I'm like, screw that.
Yeah,
Cover my head up.
that and maybe even look at the liner. That's the magical part to it. So
What other pearls of wisdom you got?
Just keep coming.
we could.
Do you want to hear about my first camper van trip solo?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So one of the things that's been really successful for me is last minute Larry booking things.
Yep.
So very reactive. So there was a few years ago, I'd done a block of work and it was coming into winter and I was getting really annoyed with the cold weather. So I jumped online on a Tuesday night. No, maybe it was a Tuesday night. Jumped online and randomly booked a relocatable camper van. This is before we had our own camper van.
Yep.
Relocatable camper van from Cairns to Melbourne. Just booked it. It's cost me next to
just
nothing.
'cause.
I
Yep.
added a couple of days to give myself more time. And then I went, oh, I have to drive 4,500 kilometres on my own. What
Reality.
have I done?
Reality.
I just like that you went Cairns to Melbourne, but that part didn't sink in till you were on the way to go do it.
I was just thinking about warmer weather. So I booked a flight and I went up there and I tried to talk my husband into coming with me or at least meeting me some of the way, and he wisely did not come because it was one of the best things I did. So I got up there and I picked up this little Mitsubishi Express camper van, which literally just had a bed, and at the back you lifted it up and it had a very basic kitchen, like a butane stove, a water bottle, and that was about it, a couple of plates.
Yep.
And off I went. And I started driving out of Cairns, and once I sort of got through the town and didn't have to concentrate as much, oh my God, did I feel amazing.
Yep.
I was just like, woohoo, I'm doing it. Look at me. And it took me a couple of days, but I settled into a bit of a rhythm.
Yep.
And I would drive for about 3 hours in the morning.
Yep.
And half of that, halfway to where I sort of decided I would go, I would stop for a coffee somewhere. And then I'd keep going. I'd get to where I was going about lunchtime. The camping was pretty cheap. I could free camp all the way. Oh, sorry, not free camp, unpowered camp.
Yep.
And so I would just pay $15-20 for a campsite. And I did it. I
Yep.
just had so much fun.
How long did that take?
Just over 2 weeks.
Just over 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's not bad.
Yep. Caught up with a few friends along the way, visited my kids in sort of southeast Queensland on the way, spent a couple of days there. What else did I do? I did a day trip to Hamilton Island, met this lady on the boat over there, and she was going to visit her husband who was doing some work at a house there. And so she was over there and she said, "Oh, just spend the day with me." And she was a bit of an older lady. So I said, "Oh, all right, whatever."
Yeah.
So off I went with her, with this strange lady, and I went up to the house, had a look. It was this amazing house looking out over the whole ocean and whatnot. And then they said, "Oh, just take the little golf cart thing." And she was too nervous to drive it. So it suited both of us because I didn't have access to a golf cart and she was too scared to drive it. So if I hadn't been there, she
Win-win.
would have just stayed at the house all day.
Yep.
And because she took me in, I got to drive the camper. So we went all over the island.
Beautiful.
And I got to do a hike. We went out for lunch and it was
Self-guided tour.
fantastic. Yeah. So these experiences that you have along the way are just magic.
Sometimes it's not that initial journey, it's the offshoots. Yep.
Yeah, and I'd find a little walk in the afternoon and I'd explore the area, and I got to Yeppoon and I camped there for a night, and all the grey nomads invited me over for a drink, so I went over and I said to them, "What do you guys do all day?" And they're like, "Oh, we have a coffee and we go for a walk." And so it was just great to have all those experiences. And then when I got to Melbourne finally, I caught up. Oh, no, that wasn't that one. When I got to Melbourne, I was driving down the Tullamarine Freeway and I felt like I had conquered Mount Everest because that's a really long way to drive on your own.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to do that and to do it on my own I just felt so accomplished.
At what point did you go, I should just turn around and go back? And go?
When I got south of Sydney and it started to get a bit cold,
Yep.
I was like, what am I doing?
Yep, I'm going to go back to Cairns.
Yeah, I must admit, I probably did actually. I stopped at your sister's
Yep.
house one night in Wodonga because it was too cold to camp there.
Yep.
And I think I paid for a cabin one night because it was pretty
Yep.
cold.
Yep.
Yeah. But apart from that, I did the whole thing. And it was great. And I think the thing is, as women out in the outdoors, it's really easy to feel daunted, to feel like we can't do it, we shouldn't do it, something's going to go wrong. And it doesn't. My girlfriends, I said, "Oh, can you give me some podcasts to listen to?" And one of them gives me a true crime podcast while I'm driving
That'd be
through the
real
country.
handy. Hey,
And
if you're after a good podcast to listen to, I know one.
Oh,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you now?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
It's Get Outdoors.
Doors with Drew and Cam.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I've got the sticker.
There you go. Bingo, bango.
So I listened to a couple of those and then I decided that was not a good idea.
Yeah.
So I found a different podcast. But a couple of my friends were actually really worried about me and they called me the blonde nomad and they kept checking in every couple of days. "Where are you? Are you safe?"
Wouldn't
And-
have been my sister, would it?
No, it
No.
wasn't actually.
No?
No, it
I'm
was
quite
somebody
surprised.
else. Oh, she probably did check in on me.
Yeah.
Hi, Annette, we love you. Mama. That's how Drew and I know each other, is through his sister.
Yep.
And, so they were just checking in on me every day. "Where are you?" And I was fine. I was having the best time.
That's when you just start sending them those cheeky photos. Look where I am while you're sitting at work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, don't be afraid to give things go. Get out
That's
there.
it.
And there seems to be a lot more groups for women starting. Sorry about the ambience, listeners.
Being inundated by noisy miners.
Far out. There's a hell of a lot more groups for women getting out and about, from fall driving, camping, hiking, getting women together and going as women, not as in trying to segregate themselves, but for yourself. If you
Yeah.
weren't really sure, you could do 1 or 2 hikes with these women's groups
Yeah.
and get yourself into it.
100%. And I think the reason that those groups are so successful is because sometimes, sadly, women do feel intimidated by men because they maybe want to go faster, they want to go further, they, potential. I mean, we're just conditioned as women, unfortunately, that, that relationship between men and women is not always as symbiotic as you'd hope it to be.
Yep.
So there is a lot of reasons for that, but it creates that safe space for women to just go, I can get outdoors I can feel safe because I'm with other women. For me, I'm happy to go alone, but there are times where I think I would love to find a group of, I don't care if it's men or women, but people who I can do things that maybe I wouldn't do it on my own.
Yep.
Just because it is that bit more challenging, a bit more risk involved, and it is better to just
So
have
more
that
for
other
like
person.
guidance, not a a safety issue, but not a personal safety issue.
Yeah,
That
it's
kind
just
of
more
thing.
like if you've got someone else with
Yep.
you, it's another set of eyes, it's
Yep.
another caution, it's another brain if you get a bit overwhelmed.
Yep.
It's someone to share the experience with. It's someone to encourage you if you're feeling like it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are plenty of times where when I've been in a group and someone's gone, come on, we can go a bit further, and you'll go a bit further. But if you're on your own, maybe you turn around and go back.
Yeah.
So, being in a group sometimes is really beneficial for creating that extra
Drive.
confidence and drive.
Well, yeah, a little extra drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know I see it every so often. I follow the Victorian Hikers Facebook page, and people will put up, I'm going for a hike, I'm planning to do this on these days, if anybody's keen. And you see photos of the big groups that go out and do these big joint hikes, and I think a lot of them don't actually know each other at the start of it, and probably from there on we'll be continuing to do hikes together. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's lots. There's one called Escaping Your Comfort Zone, which again is for women,
Yep.
particularly women of all body shapes and sizes,
Yep.
so that they feel confident regardless of their body shape or size, that they can get out in the outdoors. You don't have to be an athlete to
Yeah.
be outside.
Yep, I'm far from, but I still get out.
Yeah, there's another one called Ladybirds Outdoor Adventures, and they don't just hike, they do all sorts of things. And again, they're a whole lot of people who don't know each other. It's just a Facebook group.
Yep.
And they post adventures and invite people along.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So there's lots of groups like that. You just have to do the research. And if all that is still too much for you, there are groups where you can pay and someone will do the hard work for you. So I did do one earlier this year. Last year now. I did Kosciuszko, and one of those, I wanted to get up to Kosciuszko. It was taking me too long to organise it on my own. I went on a hike with an organised group.
Yep.
For me, I don't feel that the money was worth it. I felt like it was way too much money and I could have done it on my own. But if that's a barrier, pay the money and
Yep.
go and have the experience.
Well, you've got that backup, that information, the knowledge.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yep.
With Kosciuszko, as a question, was it a hike from bottom to top, or was it the chairlifts and the walking and...
We did about 50 Ks of hiking over 4 days.
Yep.
The Kosciuszko day, we did the big loop, 23K loop.
Yep.
So I don't know where we started and finished. Was it like Charlotte's Pass or something? You go up and around.
Yep.
And so we hiked all the way up to the peak and then all the way back down again and finished in the same place we started.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we've got ambitions of doing Bogon because we want to do the highest peaks as we can and then move on to Kosciuszko. So that's pie in the sky stuff for us at the moment, but we're working on it.
Yeah. Got to have goals.
That's it.
You're
Yeah.
blowing me away, dude.
You didn't know all this about me.
No. No. New admiration for you, young lady.
Keep coming with the young. Keep coming with the young.
We're the same age, so
I think you're a year older technically, or a few
what am I?
months.
42?
I think you're full of... No, it's those things like I enjoy getting out with my wife and going, and she gets narky if I'm off doing an adventure and she's at home. It's that, like you said, it's that company going with somebody, and my wife has a bit of self-doubt when it comes to this sort of stuff, and she got to the top of Feathertop and she had a tear in her eye. I'm like, you did it. I didn't think I was going to. You freaking did it and you smashed it.
Yeah.
So, it's that
And
building
anyone that
others
knows
up.
your wife has stuck with it, and we're all proud of her for that.
Yeah,
That's a massive achievement.
Yeah, I mean, mate, it's you get to those points and you go, like we were at the start of it. I've got to tell her to slow down because she almost goes running off up the track. And I'm like, pace yourself. It's 10 Ks in. It's not an easy walk. Let's just pull it back a bit. I normally let her go in front because then she sets the pace and I just match it. but sometimes you got to get in front of her and cut her off because that excitement gets to her. But, yeah.
I think there is really that element of doing hard things is so good for us.
Yes.
Yep.
And the amount of times where I've done those things, like I did my marathon in 2015, so more than 10 years ago now. And there are still days where I will say, if I'm facing something really tough, I ran a marathon. I can do this.
Yep.
I can do hard things. I travelled to the other side of the world to a crazy little African nation on my own. My transport didn't tell me if they were going to be there or not. So I landed there not knowing if my taxi was going to be there. I did that all on my own. I resuscitated a child in Vietnam. I did first aid in the middle of the jungle when someone got bitten by a gorilla.
What?
I bribed a policeman in Zanzibar so that he didn't put me in jail. I can do hard things.
I'm listening to this going, and this is why I don't leave Australia.
Bitten by gorilla, Vietnam, police.
That we need a bit more details on the bitten by a gorilla. That's pretty interesting. Come on.
So my trip, I went to Uganda nearly 2.5 years ago, and one of my bucket list items was trekking with the gorillas.
Yep.
And so we booked this, my girlfriend and I, we did a month trip and we did a few different places, but one of them was Uganda, booked the gorilla trek. So off we went, and when you do this trek, it's very deep jungle, and you hike in until you find the gorilla family, no matter how long it takes. It might take half an hour, it might take 3 hours. You hike in, and then you have 1 hour with the gorillas, and then you hike out again. So this is what we did. We hiked in. It was all downhill all the way in. We hiked in, found the gorilla family. We had about 40 minutes with them. Absolutely astonishing. And it was one of those experiences we talked about taking photos, and you just have to stop taking photos because you just miss too much being behind a camera.
Yep.
So we had this most amazing experience with these gorillas. They were just sensational. And then about 40 minutes into the trek, we were standing on the path, and there was some guides over to our left, maybe 10 metres. There was a couple of gorillas over to our right, maybe 10 metres away. And everything was nice and quiet. And they say, don't run if something, a gorilla starts moving towards you, and just stand still. And so anyway, we're standing there, and all of a sudden this gorilla on the right just jumps up out of nowhere, no warning, runs straight past us and starts attacking the guide on the left, like literally fully attacking the guide. So they're getting their machetes, which they use to hack back the vines, and they're using the butt of it to try and push the gorilla off. And we're just standing there like in shock, like what is going on? Hacking away at the gorilla. Eventually the gorilla runs up the tree, and we're all like, okay, all right. So then I look over, and one of the guides is trying to get his trousers down, like something's gone on. So I'm watching this, and then I said, can we help maybe?
Yep.
And he's like, oh, no, it's okay. And then when I saw he had been bitten by this gorilla. So I said, I'm actually a nurse. Could I help? I might be able to help. So they thought about it for a minute, and then they said, okay. So over I go, had a look. So I helped the guy, got him to sit down, and I said, I'm a nurse. It's okay. I'll look after you. So I thought, okay, I need some first aid equipment.
Yep.
Guess what? They don't carry a first aid kit. There's nothing, not one thing. So I said to the other people on the trek, okay, empty your bags. What have you got?
Yep.
So out came a few items. So I patched this guy up with all that I had, which was a packet of fresh tissues, a surgical face mask, and a bandana. That's what I patched him up with, because that was the cleanest.
She's a multi-tool on two legs.
100%.
The cleanest thing I had.
Yep.
And so the family we were hiking with was fabulous. They were not worried about their gorilla hike. They were like, safety first. We're all looking after this guy. So that was good. So we didn't have to worry about that. I said to the main guide, what's the plan for getting this guy out of here? And he says, he's not far. He can walk. So we've just walked close to an hour steeply downhill to find this bunch of gorillas. And he wants a guy with a 2 by 2 centimetre deep bite in his thigh to walk out.
Wow.
And I've said, that's not a good idea. I don't recommend that. He'll go into shock and he will die. And I said to the guy, don't worry, you're not going to die. And anyway, so then eventually they chatted for a while and then they decided, we get jungle helicopter. So I said, okay, jungle helicopter is a wicker stretcher and 4 guys. And so we had to wait an indeterminate amount of time for the jungle helicopter to arrive. And in the meantime, we just sat there and I just kept this guy safe and treated him for shock and checked the wound every now and then and reassured him, waited for them to come. We just told some stories and chit-chatted and kept it calm.
Yep.
Then eventually the jungle helicopter comes and out he goes.
Far out.
The little bit in my brain goes, what the hell does a gorilla bite look like? Because I think they've got some pretty impressive incisors, don't they?
Yeah, it's not very clean.
Yeah,
and it's not very neat.
Yep.
But the big concern was it was so close to the femoral artery, and I
Yep.
thought if it had hit that, it was curtains.
He's gone.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
curtains. There was nothing anyone
No
would have been able to
tourniquets, no
do.
nothing, yep.
Yeah. But luckily it didn't. It really didn't bleed all that much considering the size of the bite.
Yep.
The guy was in hospital for 3.5 weeks. And he was back in hospital. He was back in theatre several times having it washed out. IV
Infections would be
antibiotics.
the main thing,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
all the antibiotics. He had rabies treatment, all the rest of it, everything
Yep.
that you'd have. And so he's okay now. But yeah, it did take a little while for him to recover. So, and I actually feel that if I hadn't been there, it could have been a pretty different outcome for him.
Did you hit him up for a free next time we're over here trip?
But I really do hope that they start carrying first aid kits.
They probably do now after that.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
Combat tourniquet and a bottle of water, that'll do, won't it?
Roll of duct tape and a t-shirt.
But yeah, you just use what you've got.
That was my thought. I thought you were going to grab a T-shirt or something like that and wrap it up and tie it and tape it and off you go. But
Yeah. Oh, luckily the tissues were great because at least they were in a clean packet.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I suppose that's the thing over there with all the sweat walking through the trees.
jungle, yeah.
Yep.
The
You
stuff
don't know
that
what
you'd get on
bacteria
you
is
in
out.
the
And the
jungle.
bacteria on their teeth is just
Oh,
Yeah.
off a gorilla's tooth.
oh,
yeah,
100%. Yeah,
Yep.
so bad.
I just love that we've gone from talking about hiking on French Island to a gorilla bite.
Gorilla bite.
Listeners, there are no gorillas on French Island.
We've now got the episode name.
Oh, there
The
we go.
Gorilla Bite.
The gorilla bite.
But I'm very happy to come back. If, people like it, I'll come back and do more.
Why not? I'm not seeing an issue.
Oh, I've got no issue with it. Well, I reckon we're coming to the end of the show.
I think there's a lot more still to unpack on another time.
I reckon we'll have to get Nadine back.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be more adventures to talk about.
Do you do much fishing?
No, I'm not talking about fishing.
No?
Not talking about fishing. No, people that say that don't do very well when they go fishing.
That's why.
Yeah.
I don't mind going fishing if it's more about someone filleting all the fish, catching it, filleting it, cooking it for me. There you go.
We've cottoned on to Kmart. They've got a $27 fishing rod from Jarvis Walker that we're trying to encourage all the listeners to get to get into fishing, get off the couch, get out of the house.
And I keep leaving it at home.
He keeps leaving it at home.
I wouldn't know whether to take my van or my car or my backpack or my sup. I haven't got room for a fishing
You
rod.
just don't stop, do you?
Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Life's no fun when you're sitting still.
And we've also partnered with a company called Silverside Biltong. And with our code JustGetOut15, you get 15% off all your orders, online orders. But I reckon that's about a wrap for this week.
Mate, I'm just sitting here still in awe going, you treated a gorilla bite in the middle of the bush. I'm sorry, that's the one. That's the bit that's going to stick with me.
I've got
Fantastic.
photos. I've got photos of the wound.
If
You have
you
to
know
share
what,
them
if
so
you
we
can
can put
share
them
some
up.
photos, we'll put them up on our
100%.
socials so people can have a bit of a look at some of the stuff. So
Nadine, it has been amazing.
thank you very much.
Please promise us you'll come back again.
Yeah,
If you invite me, I'll be here.
Dude, doors open, you know that.
yeah, fantastic.
Well, as for this week, thank you for listening.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. And we'll be back next week.
Cheers all.
Cheers all.